Hello, and welcome to the Regulating Our Future December podcast. We've decided this month to do something different. Instead of our normal newsletter, we thought you'd like to hear from three of the main people involved in regulating our future here at the Food Standards Agency. So today we're going to be hearing from our chair, Heather Hancock, the director of the Regulating Our Future programme, Nina Purcell, and the programme manager for Regulating Our Future, Lee Sharpington.
I'm Heather Hancock and I chair the board at the Food Standards Agency. There were three things I thought it might be useful to cover off in this podcast, questions that have come up a few times over the last 3 or 4 weeks. The first is whether what we're doing with Regulating Our Future has the support of Westminster and devolved governments in Wales and Northern Ireland. And it absolutely does. We are, without doubt, aiming to develop a better and a more effective food regulation system. I think all governments are recognising that our ambition is timely given the consequences of exiting the EU, and they're recognising that improving the way that we regulate food standards, food law compliance, is going to enable consumers to get better outcomes and businesses to achieve more in terms of their own compliance and their wider economic and market opportunity. So that's all real positives. I've also been asked whether Brexit's going to make a difference to this. Well, we know that the Brexit processes exiting the EU is going to start at some point in 2017. The Prime Minister has already indicated that. From the FSA perspective, the regulatory change that we're already contemplating and planning for is particularly timely. What it allows us to do is look for greater efficiencies, for the use of innovation, for achieving absolutely the same, if not better, outcomes for the public, but with more effective, streamlined processes. And so getting into good shape to meet the needs of an agile, changing, modern, globalised food system through Regulating Our Future seems to me to be a really important condition to make all the success that we can of exiting the EU. And the final point that's been picked up a few times has been to ask what role local authorities will have in our future regulatory model. Well, we've been really clear that we're not designing a one-size-fits-all model. And that means I can't, at this stage, define the single contribution that local authorities are going to make in the future. What I can say is I'm absolutely certain local authorities have an important ongoing contribution. Whilst we are delivery agnostic, what we're looking to design is a system where local authorities alongside others will have every opportunity to meet the compliance, the assurance, the regulatory needs in the new system. So I'd really encourage local authorities, and we have some fantastically innovative authorities across England, Wales and Northern Ireland, to seize the opportunity and, as they are doing, contribute their ideas for how reform can make a positive difference to public health outcomes as well as to business success in the future.
So my name's Nina Purcell and I'm a director with the Food Standards Agency. As well as being Director of Wales, I have responsibility for the programme of change that we call Regulating Our Future. And I just want to, I suppose, give a little insight to how I feel the first year has gone. I think people might be interested to hear that. It's been a really busy year, I think. It's been great to see so many people wanting to get involved in Regulating Our Future. We started with our launch back in February. And since then, we've just done such a huge amount of work to co-design and to work out in the open. We've got local authorities involved, we've got big businesses, small businesses and consumers. So many people have an interest in food and how we're going to regulate it in the future. One of the really important things that we've been thinking about in Regulating Our Future is the role of the Food Hygiene Rating Scheme, which is already a huge success in Wales, and many consumers take advantage of the information that is there on the front of food businesses, telling them that somewhere is safe and hygienic for them to eat. It's a really interesting thing for ROF, because I think seeing how consumers can actively get involved in considering food safety is a key part of what we want to do. But also, really importantly, food businesses that have high hygiene ratings are really good places for consumers to go to. But more importantly, it shows the food business understands its responsibilities to be a safe business and to make sure the food that they give us is safe and what it says it is. Really good news was to see Northern Ireland coming on board with mandatory food hygiene rating scheme this year as well. And of course, we're really excited about the fact that we're just about to bring the case for mandation of food hygiene ratings in England. That's a really important step for English consumers, and we really want to build that into the model of ROF. Looking forward to next year, following this great year of engaging and sharing our thinking on ROF, I think what we can expect to see next year is us moving more into thinking about the detail of the new system, because I think many colleagues in local authorities and across other government departments are interested in the detail of the system. We will continue to work closely with businesses and with local authorities and consumers. I think that's absolutely core. But it is time for us to step up the detail, to start moving from concept into design. And that's a very exciting time, because we'll have something real for people to see more detail and to challenge us, because this is something that we're doing out in the open. This is open policy making. We have our ideas and we're testing them as widely as we can, but we want to keep moving. We want to keep moving to delivery and to change, because that's the best way that we can build this system that's sustainable and will keep consumers safe.
My name's Lee Sharpington. I'm the Programme Manager for Regulating Our Future. My role is really to ensure that the whole thing happens, that we go through the whole life cycle from the board's vision through to the design, to the testing and implementation, and the successful delivery of a new regime for regulating food and feed within England, Northern Ireland and Wales by 2020, sooner if possible. I've been with the FSA since mid-July and I'm really enjoying it. My reflections on that period is that I'm really pleased with how the programme's coming on. You could say that, I would say that, but I genuinely think we have a really strong vision and articulation of what we're setting out to do, as articulated in our 5 principles, design principles. And we've gone through that kind of testing that vision, and we're into the design now. It's still emerging, we're still testing it. It's an iterative approach, and that's a deliberate decision by the FSA, and it's very exciting because we've got the opportunity to engage meaningfully and widely with people from right across the food sector, to test ideas, to develop things and co-create, and then to run through a series of feasibility pilots. Well, what's going to work, how can that work, and to improve it. And we've got scope to be radical, but at the same time that's not a straitjacket. We can do what's right, and that's great to have that support from the board and the executive team to do that. Highlights over that period: I really enjoy speaking, as you can probably tell, to our other colleagues out there. It's great to be able to set out what we're aiming to do, this challenge, to take that on board, and then to say, come on, come work with us. And people really are. They're getting on the bus with us, if you excuse that expression. But we have many challenges. It's not easy to move at pace and to demonstrate leadership and at the same time engage really meaningfully and deeply and widely with people. And keeping those 3 kind of forces, which sometimes are in conflict and in this creative tension, keeping them harnessed to make sure that we're moving forward, but we're moving in the right direction and bringing everyone with us is an ongoing challenge. But one I and the team, I think, are really rising to.
It's been an exciting 2016, and we're looking forward to an even more exciting 2017. Thank you very much, and we'll be back in touch with another newsletter, stroke podcast in the new year. Thank you very much.